Fear pretends to be your best friend, but in reality, it's your worst advisor. And if you continue listening to it, nothing will happen. Nothing new, nothing exciting, no new improvements, nothing new will happen. You'll stay exactly where you are. So if that's what you want, continue listening to fear. If that's not what you want, continue listening to this. Hi, I'm Muna. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to get notified every time I release a new video. We're going to start out first by acknowledging that, like a caring and loving best friend, fear loves you. That's why it's trying to stop you from doing scary things, from doing new things, from doing different things. It's because it loves you. But also, like an overbearing, overcaring best friend, fear can suffocate you sometimes, and fear can stop in the way of you doing the things that you need to do to go to the next level in your life, whether it's in your work, your business, your self-improvement, whatever it is. It needs new skills, it needs new action steps. And for you to take these action steps, you have to be able to let go of fear. So like a best friend, you need to say thank you for all of this love, but I've got it from here. Cool? Cool. The second thing I want you to recognize is that fear is very sneaky, and it will show up dressed like it's something that it's not, wearing a mask of something else to try to trick you into believing it, to try to trick you into listening to it. If you're not careful, you'll believe it. You'll believe that these masks are the reality of what you're feeling, and you won't know that fear is underneath it. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 of the most common masks that we wear to hide our fear. Sometimes we do it knowingly, but most of the time it's happening on a completely unconscious basis. And the reason that I want you to start noticing that this is how fear hides, it's because now you can call its bluff. Now you can deal with it for what it is instead of dealing with the wrong problem. The first way that I found fear to hide is by pretending to be procrastination. I've dealt with this myself. I've dealt with this with many clients who came to me with the problem of, I don't feel motivated, I keep procrastinating on the things that I'm trying to do. And then through working together, we uncover that the truth is there's fear of what might happen if we stop procrastinating. Sometimes it's fear of failure. So if they want to start a project, but they're procrastinating on it, it's because they're so afraid it will fail. So procrastination feels better than failure, or whatever meaning we give that. So they pretend, not knowingly, to be procrastinating, to be lazy. But the truth is, they are just afraid of failure or afraid of success. Like, what if this project actually works out and I do succeed? Sometimes there's fear there too. I'm sure you've experienced it. Maybe you haven't noticed it, but once you start looking for it, you can start asking yourself, the next time you have something to do and you sit down to do it and you just can't start, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Like, really, what's holding me back now? What's the fear? And don't just stop after a few seconds if you don't come up with an answer. And don't just listen to the first answer. Keep going. I know this takes work. I know this takes inner work, but I think this is why you're here. That's the only reason you would be listening to this video or watching what I talk about, what other teachers and coaches talk about. It's because you want to get better. So do the work that's required for you to get to the bottom of it and figure out, what am I afraid of, and what is the fear that I'm feeling right now that is not procrastination. Another way that fear shows up is logic, like pure logic and common sense. Like, now is not the right time to launch this thing. Now is not the right time for me to start my business. I mean, it's almost, schools are starting soon, and then we'll get busy with that, and then it's fall break, and then it's almost Christmas, so it's busy then, and then it's too cold. You know, like, we keep finding reasons why we need to delay the thing that we're actually afraid of doing. But it sounds so logical that we believe it. So I want you again to question the next time an answer seems so logical to you, or an answer seems so logical when you say it out loud to a friend, like, hey, didn't you say you're gonna do XYZ? And you're like, yeah, but then I thought about it and my mom is coming, and then I had this other thing. And whenever logic comes in, don't believe it the first time. Sometimes it is logical, but most of the time it's just fear hiding underneath the mask of logic. The third type of mask was mine, for sure. And it is, I need to do more research. It's not that I'm afraid of putting myself out there. No. Of course, I mean, I want to run this workshop. Yeah, of course, I'm just waiting to finish this one more certification, which would get me to 22 certifications at this point. Or I need to finish my 100th book on the topic. I need another 5-hour Google search. I need to watch 7 more videos on YouTube. And then I can take the next step. Makes so much sense, right? I mean, for real, you need more research. Don't you need more research? Now, let's call its bluff. This is fear once again. It's hiding. It's so sneaky. I told you. Now I want to ask you, how does fear show up in your life? What does it say? Now that you know that it wears different masks, could you uncover something new? Was this helpful for you to hear of these different masks? I'd love to hear from you, honestly. Let's have a conversation in the comments. And before you leave, I created a simple PDF for you to kind of check in with yourself on where you fall on the spectrum of imposter syndrome, which is rooted once again in fear. And once you figure out if you do, if some of the things that I talk about in that document apply to you, that maybe you are experiencing fear through the feeling of imposter syndrome, and there are ways to help you over there. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.